So today my main goal with this video is just to show how I did an effect I just tried out with something like Adobe After Effects. It's a lot of fun just to go in and mess around for a day and just have a lot of fun with it and just come up with new things you can do. The main reason I even started up the program is just because I'm working on a Star Wars short, so I thought I need to be able to do some of these effects and I need to be able to sell it. Okay, so step one with this effect. The goal with this effect is to make it look like you're out in outer space and like the camera's slowly traveling through outer space. So, step one, turn on the Star Wars theme. Step two, take a sip from your Boba Fett mug. Tastes like the Empire. All right, so here, this is what we're going for. This is kind of our end goal. Obviously, you're not going to put that giant space text across the screen unless you want to. I don't know why you would, but if you want to. So, open up Adobe Premiere. After Effects. This is our project file. This is where we got the footage I was just showing you guys. But step one, you're starting from scratch. You don't have any of this. Step one, open up a new composition. And you're going to title it whatever you want. I'm just going to leave it Comp 3. Hit OK. All right, we've got a new composition. Going from there, our next thing that we need to do is a new layer. Take that layer, new solid, and we're going to call this background or BG. Make comp size, and you have to make this black. Space is black. You have to make it black. There we go. We're done. Good job. Nope. Okay, so now there's going to be a lot of layers in this. Another layer. New layer. Solid. This one's going to be called stars, and we're going to make it white, and we're also going to make it comp size. Then you take this mask tool, and then you make a nice little oval, and then you move it to the center. Okay, this is good. The oval is not necessary. I just think that it's cool to make it an oval, so it gives you like a nice little spread. You're gonna drop something called CC Starburst on there, and that's gonna give you the nice stars. Now it kind of looks like we're looking up into a snowstorm right now, so that doesn't look super good. So and this is all preference, by the way. Anything that I change in the effects controls up here, it's all preference, and it doesn't have to be the same way that I have it. These are just what I think looks best. So for scatter, I like somewhere around 275. Something like that. And then for the speed, I like a really low speed, so we're kind of just drifting through space. Like a 0.5. All right. And so that's really slow, but it still, to me, looks like snow. And the thing that you want to adjust to get rid of that kind of is the size. So I like somewhere around a 50. And I think that looks really, really cool. You can change things like the grid spacing, which will zoom you into like a couple stars or something like that. I like to leave that around like a 3. So I think that looks good. The thing that always sells me on this effect when I do it, or when I see others do it, not necessarily this specific one, but with stars, the thing that always sells me is the size variation. In space, you're going to be closer to some stars, some are going to be brighter, some are going to be further away, some are they're going to be dimmer. So all of those things I think really sell this effect. So yeah, that's the basis of this effect, the stars and the black background. Now our next goal with this is to make another layer. Call this one Planet. And make comp size. You can make it whatever color you want. The color's not going to stay the same, but you can adjust it later. So don't worry if you pick a color and you decide you don't like it. You're going to make kind of an circle, and that is the basis of the planet that we got going on. Okay, so there's the basis of this planet. Now our next goal with this that's really bland. It's just a plain old circle and it doesn't look that good. Our next goal with this is to make it look all shiny and stuff and cool and make it look like it's a living planet. So what you want to do for this right now is go to the effects and presets, type in fractal noise, and drop it right down on there. And you get something like that, and it looks a lot like a moon and doesn't look super good, but you know, it's looking better. Also, one more quick thing before we get into the fractal noise. You want to feather that. Gives it nice, like a nice halo, and right there is where you start to see the color that you chose. Like I said, you can adjust it later, but right there is where you get the color kind of coming in. And I think that deserves a sip from the Boba Fett mug. Oh, yeah. Okay, all right. So there we go. That's our fractal noise, and um, all of this again is just it's just your preference. You know, you don't have to stick with any of this. But I'm just gonna do what I think looks best. So I always keep the contrast a little lower, so it's not blindingly different. The opacity I like down somewhere at like a 75, 80, somewhere around there. The brightness I think it looks good at like a 15. And you want this planet, we're gonna work on details later, but you want this planet at this point in the tutorial and the effect, you want this planet to kind of look uniform and not look super different everywhere. So then to kind of just get rid of that color there in the middle and make it look more uniform, you're gonna take this effects and presets, go to curves, and this is where you kind of get a little more fun with just how you want this to look. Something like that I think looks really good. And you can really just play with this until it looks good. I think that looks really cool. So it's really just your preference of how you want these to look and how you want to adjust them. Now, all right, these stars need to be in front of the planet, so we're gonna change the layer order to stars, planet, black. So just there we go, because you want these stars to travel in front of the planet as well. You don't want there to just be this void where the stars don't go. The stars don't. Okay. Now, if we're traveling through space, right? And these stars are getting closer to us. This planet should also be doing the same thing, and that's what's gonna really sell this effect for us is that movement, because After Effects is kind of basically just moving Photoshop, and Photoshop is easy to get it to look good, but to make it move is something hard, and making it stay the same and interact with each other is a really difficult thing to do. So this really helps with that. What we're about to do. So drop down that little arrow on the planet and go to transform. Transform. Another drop down. And the scale and the position are two things we're going to have to adjust for it to work out. So the scale, again, this is all my preference. And it also whatever speed you choose for the stars, make it something where it makes sense that this planet that's closer to us than some of the stars would be coming at us quicker than those stars. So like the scale, something I like to do is have it around 80-ish in the beginning. And this is a 30-second clip. Granted, in our final product of a movie or a short film or whatever, we're most likely not going to be using this entire 30-second clip. But then at the end of the 30-second clip, I like it to be somewhere around 150. So you get something kind of like that. And it does look all right. You can adjust it. Like I said, you can always make it move a little quicker. And I think something like that looks really, really cool. So yeah, and the position is something we're going to have to worry about a little later when we start doing the details. But for now, it's okay how it is. All right, kids. So, you know, one last thing for this main planet is I think, planets are living things. They're moving. So you want there to be some kind of an evolution and change in the way that this planet looks as it's getting closer to us. So if you come down on the planet level, on the planet layer, the effects, fractal noise, and you're going to change the evolution. The evolution I like being somewhere around 0 in the beginning, and at the end of the 30-second clip, somewhere around at 8. So you get, it's a little bit of movement, but it's not in your face crazy. And I think that looks really, really cool. Maybe make it move a little quicker. Something like that I think looks really good. Okay, so that's it for the main planet layer. Our next thing that we want to do, this is optional. If you don't want your planet to have a lot of variety on it and you like it just the way it is, then you're fine right here. But I think always adding a bunch of different things to the effect, adding different dimensions to it, giving it like a dimensionality and having it be something's closer, something's further. I think it makes it just kind of sells the effect all the more. So another layer, new layer, solid. We're going to call this details, and we're going to make it blue. And like I said, this doesn't matter. You're going to change the color if you don't like what you started out with, and just something kind of whatever, right? And this is going to be this effect right here. Is the goal with this is to, with planets, there's a bunch of variety on these planets, right? In Star Wars, in real life, if you see aerial shots of, from space of other planets, they don't all look the same. They're not uniform across the whole planet, and you've got some variety in how they look from area to area on the same planet, which is one of the cooler things about space. So to be able to replicate that in After Effects and have it look good is, to me, key to how this effect comes out in the end. So something like this I think looks really good. Now you're thinking, oh my god, that for real is one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. You just ruined this whole effect then. You should just jump off a bridge now. Well, hang on. Bridge jumping time is later. What you want to do with this is, if you feather it enough, feather it, it'll start blending in. You get something like that. Now, granted, I don't think that looks good anymore. It looks better, but not as good. So if you drop some fractal noise on that, and you give it a different kind of fractal type, I chose dynamic because I think that looks really cool. And invert it maybe. All these different things you can do. Make it look like a completely different portion of the planet. And like I said, all these effects are, your choice. Curves again. Curves is going to save our lives as far as like making sure things look good. And right here, doesn't matter what color you chose in the beginning, you can change it right now. What if I want to make it a purple? I don't know, I still think the blue looks kind of cool. Something like this right here. And, it looks cool. You can adjust if the shape starts looking weird and you don't really like how it's looking. You can adjust it, right? All right. Now, our main problem with the effect right now. Watch what happens. Like I said, moving Photoshop, right? The details aren't going to follow that planet. Now, what you need to do is keyframe the details, scale, and position to match the planet. Now, the planet, we didn't change the position because it kind of did it on its own, but you're going to have to do it with the details. And it needs to be similar to the way that the the same properties, similar properties, but they don't have to be identical. So let me see, transform scale right here, and then scale, something like that should work, right? Okay, so we've got, but now we have a problem. It moves too, so the position also needs to be keyframed there and like there. So now we've got, it follows it, right? But now what's not too great, oh, why does that keep going? Oh yeah, because the planet stops. Right, okay, yeah, and if you're not going to use this entire clip, like, most likely you're not going to use an entire 30-second clip of space, but if you are, make sure it's uniform the whole way across. I'm going to cut it probably about 20 seconds, so it doesn't matter that there's that weird overlap. Now, I'm going to change the, one cool thing we can do with this is come down to the evolution and change it the same way we did with the planet, but if you do it different right here, if you do it a little faster or a little slower, it's gonna look like it's a completely different portion of this planet, and I think that looks really, really cool. And I think it looks like the planet's moving and evolving as we get closer to it, which is all about what After Effects is. You're trying to make things look alive and look real and authentic and genuine. Now you're gonna have to drop the details right under the stars so that it's above the planet, because you want the stars to go over the details as well. Now, this portion we're about to go over is 100% unnecessary, but I think it sells the effect. This back right here, this back planet, you do the same way that you did this forwardmost planet. You just make it smaller and adjust the scale and position to how to how it should be. So I'm not going to go over that. That part's easy. What I am going to go over is this back here, the ice belt. I think it looks really cool, and I think it just adds another thing for us to look at and, spread the eye while you're watching this clip. One last thing before we go over that is we're going to search glow. If you drop that on the stars, it just adds a little more of a pop to those stars. All right, here we go. New layer. Bing, bam, boom. Bling, 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 bling. New layer. Doesn't matter what color, but you do need to name it ice belt or something. I can't really think of what to call this. If you give it some kind of color like that. And just draw whatever shape you feel like drawing. And, something like that, I think, starts to really sell this effect. Now, let's bring that down here so it doesn't look good. You want this to be behind everything. Because if it's not going to look good. It needs to be there. It needs to be where we put it. Something like right here, I think, starts looking cool. And you want to come down to the mask properties, feather it. And what's our next thing? You guys probably know, that fractal dough. Fractal noise, fractal noise, fractal noise. And, add just different properties to it and see how you like it. I mean, things like that. That brightness. Dim it a little. Contrast. You've got just a ton of different settings you can play with here. And something along these lines, I think, starts looking really good. And then what you want to do is also change that evolution. So all you got to do at this point is, go down to the effects, fractal noise, evolution, keyframe. If you want it to move faster than your planet, the evolution, move faster. That looks good. You can, one last thing you want to kind of do is get it to look like it's coming at you as well. So the scale also needs to change from here to something like that. But it's behind your planet, so you have, you've got to adjust for it to look like that. And guys, we are done. That's pretty much the effect. If you want to add a glow, that's cool. If you want to, go in and change the colors again with the curves, that's all right. Just, there's not really any wrong answers when it comes to things like this. Just have a lot of fun with it, and, there, you get a nice glow. Curves, change the curves a little. There's really, like, nothing that you can do to screw up this whole thing. And if you do, Control Z, guys, I'm telling you, Control Z, just take you back a step. Something like that kind of looks good. And I mean, since this is, mine is set in like a Star Wars universe, so random crazy colors is all right. And look at that, there we go. So yeah, we're pretty much done at this point, guys. If you like this kind of video, this After Effects tutorial thing, I'll keep doing it. I'll keep putting them up. I like doing them, and I'm kind of just, doing them anyway. So I might as well make tutorials on them. If you like them, let me know. I'll keep doing them. If it bored you, let me know as well. And if you like what you saw here, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. This has been a Runaway Brain production, and I'll see you guys next time.